Hey guys, Oskar here. Just a short disclaimer before the video starts. This is only going to be a VOD review of a game that we played. But if you want to see the full lesson, leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and we can release that in the future. Alright, perfect. Alright, so let's get into laning phase right here. So I didn't actually see the start because Discord was kind of fucked up. Something...
I was doing the level 1 cheese. I was just doing that. So I didn't know if I could do it against Poppy or not. So
Mhm. Personally, I would never say you can do it because her Q, her passive, it's just way too much for you. But if you're able to get like a Q auto, that's completely fine. The thing you should have done right here though is that you should have pulled the wave. Why is that? Or do you know what pulling the wave means?
pull. I seen it. What Adrian? I've seen Adrian did it before. I just don't remember.
So let me just open up my epic pen right here. So essentially what you do is that you simply just, when you're standing in this position right here,
Mhm.
why is my camera not working? There we go. Okay, so you simply just walk down right here, and you pull the 3 melee minions with you. All of these 3 melee minions that are coming into this
Yeah.
wall right here, and you stand there for about a second. And what will happen then is that when you walk back to your lane, or walk back to the minions, first of all, his minions are going to be on his side of the lane, right?
Yeah.
Which, what happens then is that this will automatically start a slow push into you. And the reason why we want a slow push in this lane is because we need to play around our level 2 and our level 3 trades, right? We're not really
Yeah.
that strong at level 1. We can't really contest her at level 1. So we should definitely try to do that, as well as the minions. When you like hug them into the wall right there, what it does is that it changes how they interact with your own minions. Because what they do now is that they start focusing one minion instead of an all-out war. Also making you push towards you.
Mm.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Oh. I never done that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah,
keep that in mind.
definitely. So this is something that you only do in like the matchups where you struggle in the early game. Definitely against range champions. So when she uses her passive like that and her Q like that, like she doesn't care about her abilities. You need to abuse these factors because right here, after she uses the Q right there, you can simply Q once right here, and there's no way
Mhm.
she's actually gonna win that trade, right?
So should I? Sh so if she uses an ability, should I just go in on it with when I have my ability up, basically?
Yeah, essentially, because her trades are really simple. They only consist of spamming Q. Even though it's a low cooldown, we can look for small trades. And I'm not saying you go all in there, but I'm saying you look for a small trade. So this is fine. Then again, the wave should have been pulled against us, so that we could have looked for better level 2 trades. That's fine though. Still pushing towards you. We do some nice trades right here. Kind of step up right here, and this is kind of a big mistake, because stepping up into her minion wave like this,
Mm.
like I said, you shouldn't really do this. Then again, she probably doesn't have level. No, she doesn't have W. But if she E'd you right there, she had a lot of opportunities to just EQ you, and she would have definitely won that trade if she did that correctly. You know, this is something that you can probably do in this elo right here. Once you get to higher elos, you will get punished for this a lot harder. You need to play around your win conditions a lot more. And this right here, this is fine. But if we played around her W a bit better, like if we look at your Q right here,
Yeah, I
it
should have
would have
waited.
been up after this right here. So we could have, for example, just waited it out, flash Q, and she's dead, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I was very impatient on that one.
Mm-hmm. So
I
we,
auto attacked the wrong person.
yeah, he auto attacked the wrong person. We ended up getting the kill. We burn
And then look,
flash.
I don't know why he flashed.
Wait, he flashed on the spot? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. Look, dude, slow motion. You see.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess it wasn't that bad then.
It was two flashes.
Yep. So this is fine right here. We're simply denying her minions for not using her teleport. Alright, so that's fine. That's a good trade. We get her passive, but when she steps up to this minion right here, we go in for the trade. That's perfect. We cancel an auto attack. Then again, that's fine. If we had our flash up there, we could have potentially killed her.
Yeah.
So this Poppy is kind of using her passive really in many special ways. So this is the part where we actually really overextend, yeah.
Yeah, then I got screwed over here.
Yep. And we're forced
I
to
mean,
back at
I
this
think
point.
I could have killed her if I no. She had corruption. Couldn't kill her. Just getting back up full health.
Yeah, if we didn't go for that trade, we could have killed her easily. That's fine though, we get our recall. But the overextension right there kind of screws us up. We should have never been in that position. That's fine though. Well, actually, what happens here?
She's overextending.
Yeah, she pushes the wave right here. She wastes her passive for some reason. So, the thing about this is that I think it's fine to do it like this. You should have stacked your Q first of all, but engaging with your E is something that you never do versus Poppy. And the reason...
Sorry.
Yeah. No, the reason for that is very simple. If you waste your E like that, you're not able to, for example, redirect her. If you... This is kind of a mechanical thing. When she E's you can actually E, so they kind of change the direction, if you get what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it kind of just makes her E a lot worse for her. And also, engaging with your E if she doesn't have her Q, there's really no reason to do that. If there's a Q laying right here, and you engage it with your E, sure, that's completely fine. Right?
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You need to, you know, kind of abuse damage absorption a lot more. So she actually stays here for some reason. And we end up getting the kill, which is nice. The thing about this though, this is a really small thing. But you should never use your Alt E like this. Try to use your ER with your wind slash instead. So Alt and then ER.
Okay. Wait, so Alt then ER or not ER?
No, just yeah. You don't need to cancel the small animation right here. The cast animation timer is the same, but this gives you a bigger distance. And you actually, yeah, you kind of use it in a weird way because you Alt ER, but not as in you ER, if you get what I'm saying.
So I'm supposed to do ER or supposed to do RE? Like I'm a little bit.
You R and then you ER.
Alright.
You did it right here, but the animation didn't really do it the right way. Then again, that doesn't really matter. So we see her right here. We go in for a really greedy trade. We gotta remember that we can simply just play around Q stacking at this point. We have 30% cooldown reduction, which means that our Q, if we use Q stacking correctly, our Q will be up after, if we use the whole cooldown, it's gonna be up 2 seconds afterwards. And this is something that you can really abuse, because this is kind of mind games. Because we gotta remember that once we've used our third Q, she's gonna be looking for trades, because she thinks that we doesn't have her Q up. Right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And this really changes trades a lot, and this is something I see a lot when I coach RIVEN players. So trying to abuse like Q stacking a lot more is something that you should try to do.
Bad trade.
Yeah, this was a pretty bad trade.
Yeah, and then all off flash and I flash and then back. And then
Yep. So at this point, we're actually a bit far behind in CS. Right, we get all in. She actually flashes it, which was pretty crazy.
I didn't know how she did that. That was just really weird.
Yeah, she kind of flashed over it, which was something that you really don't see that often. It's fine.
It's kind of clunky.
Yeah, it is pretty clunky. Something you should always try to do is that you double cast when you go in for the all-ins, not EW auto attack.
So when you say double cast, like two spells at the same time, right?
Yeah, E, then auto attack, WQ, right?
Yeah.
Or with a small delay between your WQ, obviously, so that you get auto attack through. Just opens up for a bit more burst. So this is fine. We take the skull crab. Let's actually go back here a bit. Okay, we didn't actually ward right here. something you should try to do in this position, which you don't actually have a ward at this point, a regular ward, so there's really no reason to do it right here. But this ward right here, does it actually do that much for you?
No, it doesn't.
No. So we gotta get to the center of the problem, because where does like 90% of jungle gank starts if they're ganking top lane?
Usually they start at Gromp or this plant. No, no.
Yeah, this skull crab, right?
The Scuttle Club, but there's this plant over here that
Blasting cone, yeah.
Blasting cone, yeah.
Right, but the essential thing that I'm saying is that it either starts from the river or it starts from the jungle, right?
Yeah.
So these wards actually give you a lot more info. So something I would try to do when I push in a wave like this is that I walk into the enemy jungle and I ward right here. Because this ward right here, it covers, or it's kind of hard to get the exact word, it's kind of up here. Because if you do it correctly, it's gonna cover these camp time spawners, it's gonna cover all the entrances and exits of the blue side jungle, right? Because if you have these wards down, it's really hard for Olaf to get a good gank in because we have a lot of map cover. And this control ward right here, it's really good because first of all you help out your mid laner, and this ward right here, it also helps out your mid laner a lot and your jungler, so that we can track the jungler easier, right?
So where would I put my control word?
The control word should always be placed here, in this brush right here, or in this brush right here.
Okay. So if it's like an Evelyn jungle, then.
What did you say?
So if it's an Evelyn jungle instead of an Olaf, would I put the controller next to me or in the tri-bush, or?
Well, if it's an Evelyn, it kind of changes a lot of things. But this ward right here still does a lot for you, because Evelyn still doesn't have, you know, she isn't self when she's doing camps, and you can go for this ward right here, or you can go for this ward right here, or you can place it in the middle actually.
Okay, got it.
Depends on how big the Evelyn is and if she's actually a threat for you. Alright, so we get to kill on Poppy there. It's good.
Depends on when people start camping me, because I usually get camped, but for some reason I'm not getting camped. Every time I speak to a coach, I don't get camped and I do well. Then when I go offline by myself, and then all of a sudden I'm getting camped. Like, what am I supposed to do when?
If the jungler just keeps spam ganking you?
Yeah.
So what do you think you should do?
Either I play under the tower, try to outplay them, or leave the lane and go help the mid or bot, I guess, or try to put wards.
Alright, so I can see what you mean by that, but the thing in Season 10 is that you should never leave lane. The reason for that is, do you know why? The EXP changes? Do you know the EXP changes for top lane?
No, I didn't. I don't know about that.
So essentially, the thing about this covers for every single lane, or for solo laners, the minions give a bit more EXP. This isn't really that relevant. You hit level 2 1 minion before than usual. And the big change is that catch-up EXP is removed. So what this means, is that if you're under-leveled and the minions are higher level, right, you will get more XP. This was what it was like before. But right now it's removed, meaning that if you fall behind, you won't get this catch-up EXP, meaning that staying in lane is something that is really important. We can't really go for teleport gank bot lane. The only way you can actually go for a gank bot lane is by simply walking there. But going back to your point, playing around getting camped a lot is a thing that you should consider good. Because if the jungler is camping you, means that he's not interfering or actually doing anything else on the map, which means that any of these lanes right here, any of these people that you can't trust, aren't getting camped, right? So what you need to do is that you need to play around wave management, and you need to play around setting up wards in the enemy jungle. So let me just explain the wave management for you here.
Yeah, Immortal didn't quite explain that to me about wave management clearly. So I'm still confused about it.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing about top lane is that wave management kind of builds up on this way, but this is going to cover the early game, which is the most fatal stage of the game and the most important part. So essentially how it works is that you have 3 options when the laning phase starts. Like I said, you can pull the minion wave, right?
Yeah.
Or you can simply just let it crash and last hit the minions, which isn't really gonna do anything, because in most positions you either want the wave to be pushing towards you, if you're blue side for example, or to be pushing towards them. You really never want the wave to be static. Why is that?
Can you repeat that last?
So you really never want the wave to be static. Why do you think?
Steady?
Static.
Static or steady?
Static.
Sorry, I'm not quite understanding your.
Yeah, sorry dude. I don't know if this is how you spell it, but static, yeah.
Static?
Yeah, it might be about C. Yeah, static. So you never want it to be in one position. You either want it to be pushing towards you, you never want it to be still, right?
Okay.
In one position. And the reason for that is that you either want the wave to be pushing towards you, so that you set up ganks for your jungler, and you deny the enemy jungler of having an opportunity of actually them ganking you, right? Because it's pushing towards you. The wave is on your side of the minion wave, meaning that you're setting up ganks for your jungler, so that it's easier for him to gank top lane, and it's hard for the enemy to gank top lane, right? And the other reason, or if you push in the minion wave, the reason why you want to push the wave is that you want to set up vision in the enemy jungle, create problems for them, and keeping the enemy top laner stuck in one position, which is under the tower, right? So
do you always push the wave, or
no, this is dependent on matchup. So for example, if you're playing against something, Gangplank, yeah. What you want to do then is that you want to pull the minion wave and make it push towards you. And the reason for this isn't mainly because you want to set up ganks, it's because you want to set up potential for his ranged misplay. You want to play around him stepping up too close, going in for a bad trade, right? Because you really punish him in extended trades. He plays off of short trades, right?
Yeah.
So you want to punish him for making bad trades, which means that you want the wave to be pushing towards you so that you can play around this. Or if you're really ahead, you can try to push in the wave, try to dive him. If you can't dive him, well, that's fine. You can look to go into the enemy jungle, set up wards like I said. This kind of doesn't really work the same way if you're playing blue side. You can still go for these wards right here. So you can place either pink wards or regular wards right here, which sets up a lot of vision still. Or just go for this ward right here. This one is also really good in the tri-brush. But those are like the main things. And for pushing top lane in the early game, which kind of is relevant to the whole laning phase, is that you start off by stacking the first minion wave. Do you know what stacking a minion wave means?
So like hiding that pixel brush, and then next to the wall, and like the 3 minions come collapsing on you, then you drag them to.
No, so stacking is kind of different. I don't know what this is pulling the minion wave, right?
Oh yeah, pulling, yeah.
So stacking the minion wave is different. Stacking in the minion wave means that you want to end up with a larger minion wave. Right? So ideally what you want to do is that you want to slow push the first minion wave. But if the enemy pushes as well, you just want to keep a higher tempo than them, so the wave actually pushes towards them. So in an ideal scenario, you would end up with 3 custom minions extra, creating a 9v6 minion scenario. Right? So this means that you're going to get level 2 guaranteed before them. And it's a huge minion wave versus a small one, meaning that he can't push it back, right? So this is something that you can, for example, do if you're playing against Garen. This is something you can do if you're playing against...
Can you show me like a video example, like so I could see it in my head?
Oh, I can create one for you later.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do that right now, but I can create one for you. But you're gonna stack it, and then you're gonna shove the second minion wave, and you want to shove it into the turret before 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Why?
So you could start roaming into the enemy jungle and see where the enemy jungler is, or put wards in jungle.
But what happens at 2 minutes and 30 seconds?
Set a ward. Put a ward down.
Yeah, this is what you want to do, but do you know what happens at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into the game?
No.
The third minion wave will arrive. So if we don't push it in time, what's gonna happen is that the wave is gonna crash right here. Or if you're playing or if you're playing red side, you know the same thing. It will crash right here. What this does is that if the enemy jungler actually watches the map, he will skip a camp, run directly top lane. You're overextended on his side of the lane. You're dead, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you escape a gank like this at level 2 or at level 3 even. I mean, there's of course a scenario where you actually escape it, but it's a really low probability. So you stack the wave like that and you push it in, which first of all, it will start pushing towards you. I'll get back into that, but like I said, or like you said as well, you go for the wards, you go for the deep roams, and what usually happens right here is that dependent on what jungler you're playing against, they tend to start with their bot side right now. The reason for that is that, well, both sides of the jungle right now, they give level 3, but they usually want to start with bot side, giving them a better clear, right? Better leash.
Mm-hmm.
So they do the jungle camps like this, they get level 3, maybe they take this as well, and maybe they, or usually they just go to their blue buff and then go to Skull Crab. Do you know when Skull Crab spawns?
3 minute mark? No.
Almost. 3 minutes and 15 seconds.
Okay.
So the enemy jungler is usually at this camp right here at around 250 or 245, depending on how good they're at their clear. If you're, for example, playing against someone like, for example, let's say, for example, Kane, let's say, for example, Amumu, Zac, Sejuani, maybe Evelyn, for example, yeah. What do you think are special, like, what do all of these junglers have in common?
They cleared jungle really fast.
Well, they clear it kind of fast. But the problem with these junglers is that they have a weak clear. They're low HP. So if you actually watch the junglers, other than Olaf, obviously, because he has a retarded lifesteal, they will probably be around 40% HP at their blue buff. Is this something that you, like, is it hard for you to kill someone that's 40% HP?
No, unless I just need to know if they're at 40, because I mean I don't know unless I vision on them.
Yeah, obviously. So the thing you do right here is that you walk down. If the enemy top laner is reacting to you walking down while he has a stacked mini wave under his turret, what happens is that you're simply creating pressure, denying the enemy top laner minions and EXP. I don't think this happens in plat, that he's actually gonna react to this. Regardless, you just need to watch the map. Is he reacting? Well, if he is reacting, you ward right here and you leave. We don't need to take any further risk or anything.
Okay.
But 99% of the time in Platinum, from my experience, they will not react to this. What you can do then is that you can keep on going, get this ward down right here. Maybe they're walking up to the blue buff, they're lower HP. You kill them. Worst case scenario, they flash out, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you, for example, can see their camp if it's low HP, and while they were, or if they were taking it as you were walking down here. Or worst case scenario, they flash out. Like I said, they have to go base. Gives your jungler free river control, free skull crab. Not even able to contest this. You get vision of his camps. You know when he's gonna be around topside again, right? So this really sets you up to avoid jungle ganks. Other than that, like I said, when you push in this way right here, it will start a rebounding push into you, because the stacked minion wave right here is gonna be there for a while, stacking up his minion wave, making it push towards you. So what this does is that it sets up ganks for you because it's pushing towards you, right?
Yeah.
Alright, well, that's pretty much, that's the general basis of the wave management in top lane. Alright,